Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Overdue. We've got a lot to cover today, so let's jump right in.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. If you've spent any time at all on job sites lately, you've seen it, right? AI careers are just everywhere. But what do these titles actually mean? You see AI engineer, ML engineer, data scientist, and it all starts to blur together. It's honestly pretty overwhelming. So today we're going to pull back the curtain and make sense of it all. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? From where you're sitting, it all just looks like the kitchen. It's this big, mysterious place where all these AI jobs kind of blend into one big thing. Python, data, models. You see the amazing final dish, that magical AI feature, but you have no idea who did what or what's really going on back there. So that's the real question, isn't it? How do we get past all the hype and the buzzwords to figure out what people in these roles actually do all day? What does it really take to build and ship the AI that's literally changing everything? Well, to figure that out, we're going to take you behind the scenes. Welcome to what we're calling the AI kitchen. Think of it as an all-access pass. We're going to walk through the different stations, meet the people working there, and see exactly how they all come together to cook up the AI we use every single day. And look, there's a really good reason why this is all so confusing. Just check out this number. AI and machine learning jobs grew by a whopping 143% in a single year. That's just insane growth. So when you have that many new job titles popping up that quickly, of course they're all going to start sounding the same. It's total chaos. This right here, this is the perfect example of the problem. You see a job post, right? It says something super generic like, build AI-powered features using Python. Okay, great. But what does that actually mean? At one company, you could be a data scientist, digging through spreadsheets. At another, you're an ML engineer, making sure the servers don't crash. And at a third, you're an AI engineer building the actual chatbot. See? 3 totally different worlds, all hidden behind the exact same job description. All right, it's time to meet the chefs. Let's finally clear up all this confusion. We're going to break down the 3 main roles you'll find in pretty much any AI kitchen. And this is where it's all going to click. You'll see how different their skills, their goals, and even their daily headaches really are. This table is awesome for a quick side-by-side. If you want to understand the difference in a nutshell, just look at the core question each role is trying to answer. The data scientist is always asking, why is this happening? The ML engineer is obsessed with, how do we make this run reliably at scale? And the AI engineer is focused on, how do we turn this into something a person can actually use? Everything else, their focus, their tools, it all comes from that one core question. So first up, we've got the data scientist. In our kitchen, they're at the prep station. These are the folks getting all the ingredients ready. They're the ones digging into tons of raw data, trying to figure out the why. They build models to predict things like which customers might leave. They design A/B tests to see what works. And then they turn all that messy data into clean dashboards that tell the business what to do next. It's all about analysis, experiments, and finding those golden nuggets of insight. Okay, now let's head over to the main line and meet the ML engineer. This is our line cook. Their job is to take that perfect, beautiful model the data scientist created and figure out how to serve it up flawlessly 1,000,000 times a day without it ever going cold. This is where things get really interesting because the data scientist wants perfection, but the ML engineer needs something that just works, fast, cheap, and reliably. They build all the plumbing, the pipelines, the automation, and yeah, if the whole system crashes at 3 in the morning, they're the ones getting the call. And last but not least, we're at the pass. That's the window where the food gets plated and sent out to the customer. This is the home of the AI engineer. This role is pretty new, and it's all about the final product. These are the engineers actually wiring up things like ChatGPT into the apps you use. They're crafting the perfect prompts for chatbots, building those cool RAG systems that let an AI search your private documents. And they're working side by side with designers to ship features that you can actually touch and feel. Okay, so you've met the whole kitchen crew. Now you're probably wondering, how do I become one of them? Well, let's look at the recipe. Here's a step-by-step blueprint for building your career. This roadmap lays it all out pretty clearly. You can't skip steps here. You've got to start with a solid foundation in math and programming, no way around it. Then you build on top of that with the core concepts of machine learning, and then the more advanced stuff like deep learning. After that, it's about picking a lane, your focus, and then getting your hands dirty with real practice and projects. You'll need to learn the real-world tools for deployment, maybe get some credentials, and definitely build your community. It's a journey for sure, a marathon, not a sprint, but the path is totally there for you to follow. All right, let's talk about the part you've been waiting for. Show me the money. Let's get into the payoff and see what these jobs are actually worth. This one number really tells the whole story. 28%. That's the average salary premium for an AI-focused job over a regular tech job. We're not talking about a small raise here. That's a huge difference, and it shows you just how badly companies want people with these skills. And when you look at the specific roles, the numbers get even more interesting. For a mid-career pro here in the US, a data scientist is pulling in around 172K. Not bad at all. But then you jump to the ML engineer, and we're looking at 195K. And leading the pack, the AI engineer, often hitting 200K or even more. And that makes sense, right? Right now, every company on the planet is racing to ship those new generative AI features. So, you've seen the kitchen, you've got the recipe, and you know what the rewards look like. The big question is, what's your next step? Let's talk about how you can cook up your very first dish. So, are you ready to start cooking for real? Because listen, the absolute best way to learn the stuff and to prove you know it is to just build something. Anything. Reading books is fine, but having a real working project, that's what gets you noticed. And if you're not sure where to start, here are a few starter recipes to get the ideas flowing. The key thing here is that each of these solves a real problem for a real person. You could build a chatbot that helps a student search through their class notes. That's a RAG project right there. Or what about a little AI assistant that helps a developer spot bugs in their code? You could even make a cheap smart camera with object detection, or a movie recommender that actually tells you why you'll like a certain movie. These are totally doable, and they're exactly the kind of projects that make hiring managers sit up and pay attention. All right, so there you have it. We've thrown open the kitchen doors. You've met the chefs. You've seen how the whole operation works, from the prep station to the pass. You even have the recipe book. So now the only real question left is, what dish are you going to create first?